But right now, we go to our friend Akash Anavarathan, who is, of course, part of Niners Nation, got a podcast. He's a pretty popular guy in Niners circles, and he joins us right now to talk about the Niners. Akash, first of all, thank you. We appreciate you and your time, my friend. Let's talk about Burt Breer's report this week. The Niners and Jimmy G both still have the goal of dealing him. Akash, does he have anything, or do you have anything more than like zero value right now when you look at Jimmy G? Do you think the league looks at him and says, yeah, why even trade something for that guy?
Hey, appreciate you for having me on. I don't think the league looks at it that way because I do think he provides some value at quarterback. We've seen that in the past. I think the teams are just waiting for him to get healthy, and I think teams will assess their own quarterback situation and then determine how to move forward with that. And I think Kyle Shanahan kind of alluded to that. Their plan is still to trade them, even though it's not a guarantee.
Interesting. Would it be better, Akash, to just cut Garapollo and fully get behind Trey Lance at this point?
I don't know about cutting Jimmy Garapollo because if you listen to Trey Lance today, he has the aura of a starting quarterback. He just seems a lot more confident, a lot more calm, a lot more collected this season than he was last year. And Jimmy Garapollo, is rehabbing in Los Angeles. He's not going to be in the facility for the next, 5-6 weeks. So I'd say you let him get healthy and then see, check out the landscape at that point, see if there's a trade partner there. And if you're convinced that Trey Lance is the starter going into the season, he's proven in OTAs and training camp that he's capable of leading this team, and then I think at that point they would cut him. But I don't see a value in cutting him right now.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you, by the way. I think you wait until camp. And, look, I wouldn't want Jimmy G in camp. I don't want him anywhere near Trey Lance. I've been steadfast on that. I think it's a disaster if you keep Jimmy G around in that locker room. I just think you're waiting for something to happen there. Akash Anavarathan with us here from Niners Nation. Akash, reports on Trey Lance, you just kind of talked about, at least at the podium, his confidence and how he comes across. The reports on Lance been a little bit of a mixed bag. How confident are you heading into the season as we get ready with Lance as QB1?
Pretty confident, and I think that all that comes back to his situation, right? His head coach, Kyle Shanahan, one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. His supporting cast, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle as his receivers, and with a running back room that's deep, I just think he's set up for success. And given the fact that he sat last year behind a Jimmy Garoppolo, I just think, he had to work on some things, in his throwing motion, his footwork, and then B, in just his understanding of the playbook, understanding of defenses, et cetera. And I think, that year that he sat, I think he's going to take a leap forward this season. And I know there's been some mixed reports on that stuff, but I think a lot of that is just speculation. And I think he's set up for success this season. And so far, the early returns are looking pretty good. I know Adam Dedeaux, the founder of 3DQB, which is the camp or the off-season program that Trey Lance was working at in Southern California, Adam had a lot of great things to say about Lance's development as a thrower. And so I'm looking forward to what he brings to the table, but I feel pretty confident if he had to start day one.
Where are you on the Deebo situation? You feeling good or bad about his future in San Francisco?
I'm feeling pretty good about his future. I don't think he has an alternative plan or he doesn't have an alternative option. He made his leverage play before the NFL draft, requested a trade, and tried to see if he could get traded, but I don't think there were any real tangible offers that the 49ers considered for Deebo Samuel. The only thing that came close was maybe the Jets offer, but even that wasn't particularly close. And so now it's just a matter of coming back to the negotiating table and seeing if you can get a deal done with Deebo Samuel. And the other thing is, A.J. Brown's deal, which, happened on draft day, 4 years, $100 million, around $50 million guaranteed, made it much more reasonable to get a Deebo Samuel deal done. Because I was worried that the guaranteed money for receivers, whether it was Tyreek Hill or Javonte Adams or Stephon Diggs, was getting really into the high 60s, low $70 million range. But
right.
With A.J. Brown's deal, I think it sets up for the 49ers to to put together something with Samuel before the season starts.
Yeah, I think the Eagles did a big favor, and A.J. Brown did a big favor for the Niners. Akash Anavarathan with us here from Niners Nation. Some additions made, some subtractions lost. Akash, are you comfortable with this secondary?
Absolutely. I think the biggest question mark is at strong safety opposite Jimmy Ward. Obviously, Jimmy Ward and Kwaski Tart have been a tandem now for the entirety of this Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch tenure, and now Jimmy Ward is going to have a new running mate. I thought those two guys are very fundamentally sound safeties. Generally, they don't give up huge plays. On the flip side, they don't also create turnovers, and that's been a giant knock on them. But I think they're just fundamentally sound in what they do. And Jimmy Ward obviously is still here, but opposite to that is a question mark, whether that's George Odom, who primarily was an all-pro special teamer with the Colts, but also got some reps in at safety. Does he take that spot? Is it Tarvarius Moore, who's coming off of the torn Achilles and missed last season? Or is it Talanoa Hufanga, the day 3 pick that the 49ers really seem to like? They interchanged Hufanga with Tart a lot last season, even when Tart was healthy.
Yep.
So that's probably the biggest question mark. Outside of that, the secondary is probably – the quarterback room is probably the best it's been since Kyle Shanahan got here. Because now you have Tarvarius Ward, who is maybe not in the elite tier of corner, but maybe a level below that. And Emmanuel Mosley on the opposite side, who's also a really good corner. And, you also have the young guys, whether that's Ambry Thomas, Tariq Castro-Fields, Samuel Womack, Deommodore Lenoir, Dante Johnson. So you've got a deep cornerback group. And so hopefully it's not a situation where the 49ers have to roll out Josh Norman like they did last season. So I think they're a lot deeper. So I feel pretty good about the secondary.
Gosh, last one for you. Got about a minute here. What should the level of concern be for the interior offensive line?
That's the area that concerns me the most, and I'm glad you brought that up because Alex Mack, who was the starting center last season, wasn't at the first day of OTAs today or yesterday and today, and they didn't necessarily make a move to sign a center or draft a center high. They've got some options. I know they like Jake Brendel, who's been a backup, offensive line backup center for them in the past. They have a couple undrafted free agents, whether that's Donovan West or Jason Poe, that they think could slot in there. And then, the question marks at guard. Obviously, Laken Tomlinson walked in free agency, and Dan Brunskill's probably going to be the right guard. So just a lot of question marks there, and that's probably my biggest concern for this team heading into the season.
I agree with you, especially with a first-time starting quarterback. Somewhat
Absolutely
concerning to have that interior offensive line with so many questions. Akash, thanks, man. We appreciate the time again. Let's do it again soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
There goes Akash Anavarathan from Niners Nation joining us. So, yeah, the interior offensive line is the thing that I really look at, the top of my list, aside from Trey Lance, because I don't know if any of us know what Trey Lance is going to be just yet. I don't know how anybody could confidently say, oh, he's going to be great. He obviously has tools, but that interior offensive line is a big question for me. All right now, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see your Sacramento Republic FC take on San Antonio FC on Saturday, June 4th. That's a week from this Saturday at Heart Health Park. More information, you can visit khtk.com. Text in the word Republic, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Text the word Republic to that text number, 916-339-1140, and one of you lucky listeners will win a pair of tickets to go see Saturday.